As Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine drags into its third week, Pope Francis announced that he will perform an historic consecration of Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary on March 25th. And how are the Ukrainian faithful and clergy coping with this Russian invasion on the ground? For answers, we're joined by Archbishop Visvaldas Kulbokas, the Vatican's Apostolic Nuncio in Ukraine. Your Excellency, thank you so much for being here. What is the situation now where you are in Kiev?
It will be, of course, long to explain how is the situation. I am at the Nuncio, but of course we cannot use our upper floors because it's dangerous, because sometimes missiles come also onto the residential areas of the city. Missiles or planes, which are sometimes intercepted. So our life, like you see me now, is a very essential one. We sleep in some corridors and rooms which have no windows to the exterior. We pray in the same rooms and we celebrate the Mass in the same places. So everything is reduced to the most essential. Because yes, it's a very dramatic situation. But I could say that till now we are living in Kiev in a relative comfortable situation, because we have other cities like Kharkiv or Mariupol or other smaller cities, where people, they have no light, they have no heating, and they have intense shelling. So it is even more dramatic and tragic in those places.
Are you able to get out and be with the faithful? What is food like? Are you able to get regular food? How are the people near you faring?
Of course, all this time is very intense because a lot of contacts, both with my superiors in the Vatican, also with the bishops, with the priests, a lot of humanitarian issues, both requests and offers, a lot of offers. So I feel a lot of solidarity. But it takes also a lot of time in order to organize everything. So our days are full of contacts. It is rather risky to go out from the Nuncio. Also, the authorities are asking people to reduce our movements in the city to the most essential ones. So it's already 21 days that I don't leave the Nuncio.
Wow.
I have some our assistants who go to take some food, because still there are some shops which are open. The government has asked some shops to remain open. So the private persons, they are able to get some food from the shops. Of course, they have not the same assortment like before the war, and also there is a lot of humanitarian aid coming from other regions of Ukraine and from abroad, and this humanitarian aid is normally distributed by Caritas or parish organizations or Muslim charitable organization or the International Red Cross. So yes, till now, Kiev residents, we have food, we have water, so it's till now supportable. Also, I spoke with the bishop in Kharkiv. They have more or less the same situation, still able to get food. But in Kharkiv, there is a lot of damage to the residential houses. So there is a lot of people staying in the shelters.
Archbishop, Pope Francis has said he will consecrate Ukraine and Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary on March 25th. How significant is that in your mind? And how is this news being received by the faithful in Kiev? I know the Latin Rite bishops asked that he perform this consecration.
Yes, there was the Bishops' Conference of Ukraine, which asked for such initiative from the Holy Father. Also, the superiors of the religious institutes. This association connects both women and men religious institutes of both rites, Roman Catholics and Greek Catholics. So I would say that altogether, all the religious institutes, all the religious congregations of Ukraine, they asked for such an act. Here, I would underscore one main aspect, according to my understanding. When we live this war, it is a very dramatic war, of course, because when I see small children, sometimes orphans of 1 month or 2 months old, staying for 3 days in cold, without light, in some shelters. So what those children have done for living such a dramatic situation. Some of them, they die. Some of them, they have to remain for several days without heating, without almost nothing. So here, the answer comes that who invented such a war? As Pope Francis, he underscored it already on some occasions, any kind of war is the invention of the devil. So when we ask ourselves why God is allowing the evil to provoke such a war, to create such a war, here the answer comes that perhaps, not perhaps, for sure, God wants to tell us something. The conversion, I would say, is the most important weapon in order to face war and to end war. So it's not only political and militarily thing, but mostly spiritual, I would say.
Do you see this consecration as a part of that resistance to the devil inspiring this killing and this war and this occupation? And is the Pope inviting the bishops of the world to join him in this consecration to Our Lady?
Yes. When we think about the Immaculate Heart of our Mother, Virgin Mary, we know that she has full power in interceding for us. So this is the tradition of the Church, to ask the Archangel Michael to assist us, and especially the Virgin Mary, because she is the one able to face the satanic deeds, the devil's deeds. So that was quite understandable for me when bishops and when the religious, they asked for such an act of consecration. Of course, it would not be enough for the Pope just to consecrate, because it's all the world, all the believers and not believers, I think, should do the same, consecrate ourselves to the Immaculate Heart of the Virgin Mary. Yes, I know that Pope Francis, of course, he will invite all the bishops. We were already informed that he's preparing the invitation to all the bishops of the world. So I believe that the results will already started appearing in this direction.
Archbishop, Pope Francis and the Patriarch of Moscow, Kirill, spoke via video conference on Wednesday. Patriarch Kirill has been a key supporter of Putin's war against the Ukraine. According to a Vatican communique, Pope Francis rejected the justifications for an invasion as, quote, a holy war, saying that, quote, today we cannot speak like this. Christian awareness of the importance of peace has developed. We are pastors of the same holy people who believe in God, in the Holy Trinity, in the Holy Mother of God. For this, we must unite in the effort to help peace, to help those who suffer, to seek ways of peace, to stop the fire. Now, given that Kirill and Putin have said that this invasion is meant to unite Orthodoxy and bring the Ukrainian churches under Moscow's control, that was the justification offered early on. How do you think those comments by the Pope were received by both the Patriarch and Putin?
For me, of course, it's too difficult to judge and to understand what effect, what result the Pope's words will have on Vladimir Putin or on the Patriarch Kirill. But I would underscore one thing. Here in Ukraine, we have the so-called All-Ukrainian Council of Churches and Religious Organizations. Here in Ukraine, all this council of churches and religious organizations feels so united in understanding that this war has no motivation of its existence, and we all are facing just an aggression that which was originated by some lies. That's what they are stating. This council of churches is stating this war has been originated but by obvious lies.
The church in Ukraine, the Catholic Church, the Latin Rite Church in Ukraine, has suffered horribly over the last, certainly in the last regime.
Yes, that was especially the Greek Catholic community that suffered. Of course, also the Roman Catholic community in all the Soviet Union had a lot of difficulties. Of course, not only the Roman Catholic community, also the Orthodox Church had difficulties, but the Greek Catholic community was completely, almost completely eliminated. So I would say that the major suffering concerned the Greek Catholic community. Of course, the Roman Catholic community had, so to say, the ordinary difficulties, the difficulties which were common to all the Soviet Union, also including my birthplace, Lithuania.
I know that the Pope has sent a number of emissaries to the region, 2 cardinals who are there helping with refugees and to show the Holy Father's fraternal closeness to the people of Ukraine. There is a request, I know, from the mayor of Kiev for the Holy Father himself to come. Is that even possible during an active war situation?
Yesterday, 3 prime ministers arrived to Kiev. That was the prime ministers of Poland, Czech Republic, and Slovenia. So logistically speaking, it is possible to come to Kiev. But when Pope comes, of course, the wish would not be just to come and to talk, to have a discussion, because that is possible to do also online. Just for if the Pope comes, of course, we would like to have a prayer with him, or of course a Catholic celebration, but even more an interconfessional celebration. And for such an event, the present situation is, it is too dangerous in Kiev. I know that Pope Francis wants to do all that is possible for him in order to contribute for peace. So I know for sure that he's evaluating, he's thinking about all the possibilities.
What type of aid, Archbishop, do you all need most right now? And how can people help?
A lot of medicine is needed. Of course, also food. A lot of it. Also because the civil infrastructure has been damaged very hardly. So the difficulties that we are having today, they will continue to increase in the coming weeks and months. So the help will be needed in huge proportions. Another humanitarian aspect is that sometimes it is hard to evacuate people. And I would like to underscore one of the examples that there was one day we were discussing with Cardinal Krajewski the possibilities of evacuating or accelerating the evacuation of one orphanage. Cardinal Krajewski, he told to me, look, Visvaldas, if you will see that the situation remains as difficult as it is now for some more hours, then I will come. I will take a car and I will try to get them out, even under bombing, under shelling. If I die, I die, but at least I will try. So I had this special envoy of the Holy Father, and I felt his presence. He was some 500 or 600 kilometers away from Kiev, but I was feeling his presence so strongly that it gave courage also to me, to myself.
Archbishop Kulbokas, I thank you for your time, and people can help by going to Aid to the Church in Need. They're doing amazing work, and I know getting you all the help you need there in Ukraine.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Archbishop.
Thank you too. God bless all of you.